Morning fellas, Ben back again. So this arrived from Hitchcock Motorcycles, UK. And what this is a kit of inlet and exhaust valves for the 411. This would be the inlet, and the exhaust is of course smaller in diameter. Shooting with one hand is always a problem. So that's the comparison. Inlet versus exhaust. Inlet would easily be, I'm guessing, 1 to almost 3 centimeters, and the exhaust would be somewhere around 2.5 centimeters or something. Any which way, so these valves are going to replace the valves on my Ben, and that's primarily because the head of the valve stem, this fellow on my motorcycle has developed a divot, a dent of sorts. Constant hammering of the rocker arms, and I don't know why, but cheap quality, I guess, or too loose a valve clearance, I guess. Plenty of talk, plenty of conversation online about why that's happening, and maybe not good quality valve stems in the end. So a little bit of a dent over here on the motorcycle's exhaust valve, and this fellow is flat. Like, I'm yet to hold the valves in my hand for a clear comparison, but this is unbelievably good. The stock valves of the Himalayan retails at 200 or 300 rupees, and this bloody thing retails at I'm guessing 4,000 rupees per piece. So there is no difference. There's no comparison in terms of quality. This also has a little bit of I'll just read. I'm not an engine component specialist here. I have only gotten this. These are factory replacement. There's no performance angle to this. It's just that this has a bloody flat head, and it's going to help me get the right valve clearance back on my motorcycle, because right now I'm running a bit of a guesswork. There's a hole here. There's like a divot, like a pit, like a dent, and the bloody rocker arm head, the nut sits in an awkward position. I don't really know if I've gotten the exact clearance. Currently I'm running a 0.18 millimeters, considering the divot, but I'm not sure again what that would actually be, because I can't pull the valve stem out and measure how much of it has, and it's also constantly taking a beating, right? So the dent can develop deeper. I mean, it can go deeper and deeper, and I would not know. So I have to constantly be checking and adjusting the valve clearances based on no idea. I mean, I have no clue how deep is the divot. Now, that being said, I'll just read what the website says about these valves. This English-made valve features an improved head profile with an undercut on the stem and flat face. It has a multi-angle seat with 30 and 45 degree angles. These all add up to improved gas flow. They are pulse plasma nitride treated, which results in less friction and less valve guide wear. At 59 grams, it is very slightly lighter than the originals, so can be used with the standard valve springs. This is a replacement for standard valves and can be lapped in place, providing the original valve seats are in good condition. So, what it says, what I understand, is you don't really have to cut the valve seats. You just need to lap it in, and that would be just a small job, quick job, 5, 10, 15 minutes or 30 minutes at best, to make this sit. And hopefully my valve seats are good, and it should be good, because I recently removed it and I checked the conditions and it looked pretty fine. That being said, if you guys can see, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but there's a 30 degree cut and a 45 degree cut on this. It's not just a 45 degree cut. There's a 30 degree and a 45 degree cut on the edge. No, the camera will not zoom into this. Pick it up. Anyways, so it's an interesting cut here. There are two angles here for the valve to seat better, and this says this is plasma nitride treated to reduce friction between this and the guides, the valve guides, and that should do wonders. Predominantly because the valve guide wear on this particular model is a known problem, a known issue, and so if this is going to reduce friction, it's going to definitely do wonders. And added to that, this is slightly lighter than the stock valve springs, so of course I can run this with the old valve springs on the machine as well. I don't really have to swap the valve springs. The thing is, nothing sells as separate components in Royal Enfield, at least not in my area. I have to get a bloody new head to get valve springs or to get valves or to get valve guides. That's really sad. I have to get a head to get this job done, or I have to do it onto my head. It's an easy job, but then again, there's a little bit of an experience quotient here, which makes or breaks the quality of the job. And so to find the right person to get this done is a little bit of a task. I'm of course going to approach Kickstart Garage and have them help me out with this. And yep, so that's the valve business. It's going to help me get rid of the clatter, at least a decent percentage of it. There is the new tech cam running, which has a little bit of an overlap. The overlap of course helps with performance, and the overlap is obviously going to make that little bit of a tick, but I should be okay with that tick, and the rest of the noise that I get because of the constant hammering. 0.23 millimeters valve clearance, that translates to very good performance, but then the bloody hammering with that dent on the top of the valve stem is just too much to take, and I'm going to get rid of that with swapping the stock valves with this. Anyways, if this helped, it helped. Very soon we're going to have a quiet running engine. Ciao.